Everyone, and welcome into the live. My name is Daniel, and I am going to walk you through every step of landing a high-paying job in the next 30 days. So grab something to write with, grab your popcorn or whatever you need, right? Maybe you're sitting around the dinner table. I am going to walk you through everything you need to do to land a higher paying job in the next 30 days. If you do exactly what I tell you to do, you will understand exactly what I'm talking about. So if you're someone right now, you're in a job, you don't like it, and you're like, I want to get out of this job and I need to find me employment that makes sense to me. If that's who you are, then this live is definitely going to be for you. If you're someone who is not working, maybe you were recently laid off, or it's been a while since you've been laid off. Like several of my clients, you were laid off and you're like, you know what? I need to change my circumstances because bills are going to keep coming. Unemployment might be running out. Severance might be running low. And you have just been having a tough time finding a job. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. So there's 4 things that I'm going to talk to you about doing this live. Number 1 is I'm going to talk to you about your resume, right? I'm going to tell you what your resume is and is supposed to be. And I'm going to tell you what your resume is not. Most people make a big mistake when it comes to understanding the purpose of their resume. The reason why you created the way you created, the reason why you submitted the way you submitted, what information needs to be contained on your resume and where, so hiring managers stop in their tracks and call you immediately. Most people make a big mistake. This is the same information I'm going to be sharing with you tonight is the same information that I share with everyone on my Fast Track program. Then I'm going to walk you through job search. Most people make a big mistake when it comes to searching for jobs. One of the big mistakes is you put the wrong information in the search bar, so you only come back with a few thousand jobs, and you don't even know this, but half of those jobs are not even open. They're closed. I'm going to tell you how I know that and how you can avoid that going forward. Then I'm going to talk to you about job interviewing. If you get nervous in job interviews, if you get anxious in job interviews, if you don't understand what's going on in the job interviews, and even if you're someone who has had an interview and you thought you crushed it in the interview, and 3 days later you got a rejection letter, I'm going to tell you why that happened, okay? Most people lose out on the job opportunity during the interview in the first 2 questions. I'm going to tell you why that is. I'm going to tell you what those questions are, and I'm going to tell you how not to say what you shouldn't say. And finally, I'm going to tell you how you can send a 3-sentence response to every written offer you get, and you will get a hiring manager to gladly give you $2,000 to $10,000 more from every written job offer that you get. And also tonight, I am going to be doing resume reviews. So if you want me to review your resume live tonight, live right now, right? At the end of this, I will review your resume and tell you exactly what I think and what hiring managers see, so you can fix it, right? Because if you don't fix your resume based on what it is I'm going to share with you, and I'm going to tell you why, right? If you don't fix it, you won't get interviews. And I'm just very straightforward and plain with you. If your resume does not show hiring managers what they want to see, you will not get interviews. Hiring managers don't care about you that much. I'm just going to tell you the honest to God's truth. So this may be your first time in the live or seeing me, and you're like, who on God's green earth is this guy? I'm going to tell you who I am. I appreciate that. So I have been in talent acquisition and recruiting as a leader, VP, COO, recruiting manager, national recruiting manager, director for 36 years. I am the person who designs the entire hire life cycle for organizations, right? When a hiring manager wants to hire for a job, they have a job opening, I'm the first person they come to get that job pushed out. So they'll come to me and say, Daniel, we need to hire for this position. Okay. I am the one that does the job description. I create it and get their approval. I am also the one who does the pay range that you see. I'm the one that does that. I'll do a salary survey, get their approval. Once I gotten their approval, I am the person who publishes it, puts it in the applicant tracking system in what we call a requisition, right? And that goes directly to our career site, which then goes onto the job boards where you see it, okay? So I manage all of the job boards, LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, Indeed.com, Glassdoor, all of the job boards. I manage all of them, right? And then when you submit your resume to the job showing that you are interested in the position, your resume comes from the job board or our career site back into the applicant tracking system to me. I get it. Okay? Let me make sure I got this straight. Okay. Yeah, it comes back to me. I look at it or someone on my team, and I'm the person that says, yes, let's do a pre-screen so we can get them to the hiring manager, or no, they're not qualified. Me. I'm the one that does that. So you can get mad all you want to, but I'm the guy that does that, okay? All right. And then if you do get an interview with the hiring manager, those interview questions that they ask you, I'm the one that gave them to the hiring manager. Because I tell hiring managers, you got to be able to compare apples to apples. You can't ask 10 candidates 10 different questions. You can't do that. Everybody has to be asked the same question so you know what you're getting and you can compare it to. When the hiring manager says they are not interested in hiring you after an interview, I'm the person that calls you and tells you, thank you, but we're not moving on. If they are interested in hiring you, I'm also the person that will call you and make you the verbal offer, right? And then I'll do the written offer with your start date, benefits, pay, all of the things that we promised you in the pre-screen or in the interview. I am the one who is responsible for getting that offer letter signed, sending you a welcome letter, getting your background check taken care of, getting you to complete the application, the drug test. And if your background check or drug test comes back and is outside of what the company has set, I'm the one that tells you, sorry, can't hire you because of this reason, right? But let's say you make it all the way through the background check. We get your onboarding taken care of. When you start on day one, I am either going to be in your new hire orientation or I'm going to be conducting your new hire orientation, right? What I like to do on the first day for every candidate is walk them straight to the manager and hand them off. I call it a handoff. That's what I like doing. All right. So the whole hire life cycle, I know it. Now, I don't know and haven't seen anyone else deliver the kind of content that I'm about to share with you on all of social media. It may be happening. I'm not saying it isn't, but there are some people that do resumes, some people that do this, some people that do. I'm going to tell you the background truth in a very straightforward manner so you can fix this issue and not have it happen again. So, I want to make sure I'm tracking. If you're someone, if you are struggling to get a job because you're getting rejection after rejection after rejection. Thanks for the rose, Marquita. If you are someone who is struggling to get interviews, struggling to get job offers, and struggling to get high-paying offers, type in the chat, I'm sick and tired of this. I'm tired, man. Tell us what to do. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. If you're tired, type it in the chat. Man, I'm tired of this. It's just too much going on. All right. So we're going to start with your resume. Okay. So now I need you. I'm going to do free resume reviews tonight. So if you want me to review your resume for free, email it to me. It's daniel@dscds.com. I'm going to do that at the end. daniel@dscds.com. So take a second when you get a moment. I want you to email me your resume so I can review it. I'm going to look at your resume tonight. Okay? Now, I won't be able to get to everybody, but I'll do my best to get to as many people as possible. I have time tonight. I got time tonight. I got time. So I'm going to do my best to be a blessing to you. All right. So I want you to listen to me very carefully. I'm only going to take 5 seconds to tell you this. If you are tired, and some of you are saying, I'm depressed, I'm sick and tired of this, you know you have the skill, experience, background, and education to do the job, but no one is selecting you to even interview when you apply to a job. I'm going to tell you why that is the case. I'm going to tell you why, and then I'm going to tell you why it's happening. The reason why we tell you no, and you never get a chance to talk to a recruiter or a hiring manager or anyone in the company that you apply to, the reason why is your resume stinks. It does not show the hiring manager what they want to see. Okay, now I don't mean it stinks. I don't mean that literally. I mean it figuratively. What I mean is there are 3 very specific things that hiring managers want to see for every job. C-level executives, entry-level college grads, it doesn't matter. 3 things every hiring manager wants to see, right, before they decide to pick you. Now, I'm going to tell you how I learned this. My email is right above my head. Look at it. It's Daniel@dscds.com. It's right there. And in the chat on Facebook and Instagram, it's right in the chat, pinned. Okay? So, what are the 3 things they want to see the moment they pick up your resume? And if they don't see this, listen to me, they're going to throw your resume in the trash can, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can try to call back, you can be frustrated, you can be mad, you can be angry. It won't matter. Because if they throw your resume in the trash, there's nothing you can do to come back from it. Okay? Why do we throw resumes in the trash? Why do I reject candidates who submit their resume? Why do I get frustrated when you send me your resume and I say, why did this person send me their resume? They don't even have the experience or whatever. Why is that the case? Right? You may have the experience, but I don't see it. It's because they don't see with their eyes what they want to see. Number 1, okay? They want to see, so let's say a hiring manager has a payroll position open. This is the first thing they ask themselves as a question. They see your name come across. You're in the applicant tracking system. You just applied to this job or showed your interest through the apply process. They are picking up your resume and they say, okay, James W. This is the question they ask. What does he do? They're not looking through your resume to determine that yet. They want to know the moment they set eyes on your resume, they're scanning down from the top, your name, phone number, email address, and they're trying to figure out what you do. If they don't see it in 7 seconds, your resume is gone. They're passing. It's actually an arrow forward or arrow back button in the applicant tracking system. We arrow to the next candidate, or we will disposition you as not qualified, and that you'll get an automatic email that I create. You'll get an automatic email that says, no, thank you. Appreciate you applying. No, thank you. Okay. If you've gotten that message after you've applied to a job, no, thank you, type yes in the chat. If they look at your resume and you know you can do the job and they're telling you no, thank you, if that has happened to you and it happens to you over and over again, type yes in the chat. That has happened to me. I keep submitting my resume, but nobody wants me or nobody is accepting me. It's not, nobody's calling me. It's because when they pick up your resume, they don't see what you do. You haven't shown them what you do. Let's say you have let me explain to you. I'm going to paint a picture for you so you understand how important this is. Let's say you have a leak under your sink in your kitchen and it's destroying your floors. And you call all of the plumbers around in the city. Let's say a knock is on your door, comes to your door, and you go answer the door, and there are listen to me, there are 3 people standing at the door. One has on a gray shirt with nothing on it. One has on a black shirt with nothing on it. And one has on a white shirt with big bold letters across the top that says plumber. Which one are you going to let in your house? The ones with no writing on their shirt, or the one that says plumber? You need a plumber. That person showed you they're a plumber. You're probably going to tell the other 2 people, see you later. I want this person to come in and help me. It's the same thing. Hiring managers are looking for it. I'm going to tell you how I learned this. 28 years ago, they were rejecting the resumes. When I was an HR recruiter, they were rejecting the resumes that you sent to me because you didn't have that on the top of your resume. I'm going to tell you what I started doing. Okay, second thing they want to know is, okay, how long have you been doing it? Now, this is significant because hiring managers may not have time to train you. So I have a brand new person on my team I'm training right now. A brand new person on my team. And today, I had to sit with this person for the entire time they worked. Because I had to teach them what it is I wanted them to do. And I had to watch them do it. Okay, so it took me time to do that. I was trying to do a couple things in between, but I wanted to make sure they were doing exactly what I wanted and didn't make a mistake. So, okay, so hiring managers, if they know if you're entry level, 0 to 4 years, they got to spend extra time training you. If you're mid-level, 5 to 9 years, they know all we're going to need is supervision. If you have 10 to 15 years, we know that you're senior level. And if you have 15 or more years, they know that you are a master expert at the job. Type in the chat how many years experience you have doing the work that you do. Okay? I am still going to do reviews today. I'm going to review resumes live. I'm going to use my tablet and I'm going to show you the resume and I'm going to do them live. So if you want me to review your resume, email it to me right now. And I can see that some of you are emailing your resume. R. Mingle, J. Tolles, R. Harvey, S. Smith, P. Garza, M. Cobb, L. Miles. I see you guys are sending me your resume. So 20 years experience. We know that you're a master. 10 plus years. We know you're an expert, right? Now this last thing, I'm willing to, almost every single one of you do not have this on your resume. I would say of the 70 plus people on TikTok who are watching this live right now, maybe 60 of you, 65, 69 of you are missing this on your resume. And this is the actual thing that tips the hiring manager over and says, yeah, I want to call this person. Now I'm going to tell you one additional thing that you can add, and I'm going to show you in just a second how to add it and why it's important. And it'll make a hiring manager stop in their tracks. You'll set the standard for resumes that come across. Okay? All right. So what is this third thing? The third thing is they want to know, how good is this person at doing it? Now I want you to think about it. Remember we talked about this payroll clerk. Please listen to me because this is important. When I say how good you are doing it, I'm talking about quantifiable evidence, proof, metrics, numbers on your resume. In fact, hiring managers do not read resumes. They only skim and scan the resumes, and they're looking for numbers. Numbers. If it is a surprise to you that hiring managers don't actually read your resume, type wow in the chat. They don't read it. They do not read your resume. If I asked a hiring manager after giving them your resume what you do, they couldn't tell me. They could tell me how good you are doing what you've done, but they can't tell me the specifics of the job you do. And you waste and spend all of your time putting all of these details about all of the little things you do at your previous jobs. They don't read it. They don't care about it. Okay? So what do I mean when I say metrics? Numbers, percentages. So let's say you are a payroll clerk. Now, this hiring manager says, our company processes 1,300 people every 2 weeks. Okay? That means you got 14 days. Really, you only have about 10. So from the time payroll drops, you get your payroll check. What payroll clerks do or payroll managers do is they start preparing payroll for the next 2 weeks. They don't have 2 weeks though. They actually have 8 or 9 calendar days. That's it, to prepare the next payroll. So if the hiring manager is thinking, I need somebody who has the experience processing 1,300 people, 1,500 people every 2 weeks, 3,000 people every 2 weeks, and you are just saying on your resume, I am a high volume payroll processor, what does high volume mean? Nobody's going to call you and figure out what that means. You got to tell them. High volume means I process 5,000 people every 2 weeks. 3,000 people every 2 weeks. I run payroll for 700 people every 2 weeks. I'm going to ask you that question as a recruiter anyway, because I'm responsible for providing that information to the hiring manager. But you can cut that out and get more interest on your resume if you just add that. Now, be honest. If you are missing metrics from your resume, type OMG in the chat. OMG. Okay? You are missing. You don't understand. I had a couple of people send me resumes today and say, hey, I just don't understand what metrics to put in my resume. You do the job every day. You do the job every single day. All of us are driven by metrics, KPIs. So you got to know that. And if it's not on your resume, there is a 50% chance, 60% chance that you're out. Okay? So I need you to understand that that is exactly what's going to happen. All right? Now, I'm going to tell you one additional thing you need to add to your resume right up front. And before I tell you that, I'm going to tell you how I learned these 3 things that I just told you. So 28 years ago, I was a senior recruiter in a 1,000 seat customer service call center. Okay. I was recruiting for call center reps, and we had a class every 2 weeks, every 2 or 3 weeks. It was like 25 to 30 people. I was the only HR recruiter. Okay. So hiring manager comes to me and says, hey, we got a class on May 16th. We need 30 people. So I was responsible for getting the job posted and published, get resumes and candidates back in, and doing the pre-screens for the hiring manager. I would ask a hiring manager all of the things they wanted, and they would tell me. Watch this. I would then do a pre-screen with you. You would tell me about your skill, experience, and background. I would say you are a perfect match. And the information that you gave me, right? I would have your resume. I would put it on a separate piece of paper, and I called that my pre-screen interview recruiter notes. My interview pre-screen recruiter notes is what they used to be. And so this is what I would have accompanied with every single resume. When I did that, hiring managers were telling me no. No, thank you. Don't want to talk to that person. Get me more people, Daniel. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you, Daniel. Thank you. Can you? Oh, yeah, I'll talk to that one. But these other 6, no, thank you. I don't want to talk to them. I used to get frustrated. Like, wait a minute. So you told me you want this. I found candidates who have this. I submit their resume to you, and you're telling me no. Why? I used to think they didn't like me. Okay? So I went to my director, and I said, hey, I don't know if we're going to get this class filled. And the reason why is because I brought a pile of resumes in. I think I had interviewed like 35 or 40 people, and I think I had only gotten 8 interviews. Right? I said, I've submitted all of these candidates to the hiring manager, and you can see my recruiting notes are attached. They told me this is what they want, but they're saying no to all of these candidates. I don't know why. And she looked at it and she says, okay, I understand. Go back and ask them what they're looking for. And I said to her, what? Why am I doing that? Go ask them what? I said to her, I can't remember what her name was. I said to her, I asked them what they want. And it's on my recruiter notes. They told me they want this, 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 and this. And so I added it on these recruiter notes that these people have it. Right? So she said, just try again. Now, I was going to quit, but I had a family to take care of, so I couldn't just walk off the job. I was definitely going to leave and go find me another job and then tell them, I'm deuces, I'm out, right? So I decided to get the hiring managers together in this last ditch effort, and I was going to pin them up against the wall. I was going to embarrass them in this meeting. So I asked their directors to come in too. I was going to push this pile of 30 plus applicants to the middle of the table and say, tell me why you don't want these people. I've worked my rear end off trying to get you the people that you said you wanted, and you're telling me no. You don't like me. This is kind of what my attitude was, right? So we got in a meeting. I shoved the resumes across the table, and I said to them, I'm trying to understand what I'm missing. I'm missing something. Tell me what I'm missing. This is what they said. Daniel, I am sure the people that you have provided, they're good people, but they're just not what we're looking for. That's why we keep asking you to give us more people. And I said, what do you mean? They have the experience. And they would say, well, I don't see what you're talking about. What are you talking about? You don't see it. I said, I gave you the recruiter notes. You asked me to make sure candidates have these things, right? Yes. And I put it in the notes. So it's right here. Like, what are you talking about? You don't see it. They said, no, I see your notes. We see your notes. But I don't see it. So I'm like, wait a minute. What are you talking about? You don't see it. Daniel, I know you put those notes together, but I don't see it on the candidate's resume. Okay, a light bulb went off. Wait a minute. I said, okay. So, in a sense, I was thinking this, and I may have said it out loud. So you're saying if it's not on the person's resume, you don't want to. Yeah, I mean, I know you're saying that this person does this, but they didn't put it on their resume. So they thought that I was boosting up your experience to get you to interview. And the hiring managers were thinking if they interview based on my notes and they asked you questions and you couldn't answer those questions, it was a complete waste of their time. Now they did this because the previous person that was working for me, that's what working for the call center prior to me, that's what they did. So I said, oh, okay. Now, a light bulb went off. Oh, they want to see it on a person's resume. So I looked at those resumes in that pile and I realized they're right. It's not on the person's resume. So this is what I did. I ran back to my office. I had 4 people that I was going to be submitting. I took my recruiter notes and I added it to every person's resume like they had added it. Right? Now I had a choice. I said, well, I can call this person and tell them to add it, or I can do it for them. So I did it for them and I sent it back to them and I would call them and I would say, hey, James, listen, I sent you your resume back. I added those notes, that the information that you gave me, I added it to your resume because if I submit your resume the way you gave it to me, the hiring manager was going to tell me no. So I said, is it okay the way it looks now, and is it okay for me to submit it? And they said yes. And I submitted the resumes and I got emails back from the hiring managers that said, yes, this is exactly what we've been looking for. Send me more people like this. And I was like, what? What changed? What changed? It wasn't the person. It wasn't the candidate. It's the same person with the same skill. What changed is the resume. Instead of me putting the information on a separate piece of paper, It was on the resume. So the hiring manager in their mind said, this candidate put this resume together the right way, and they're showing me what I want to see. So they said, yes, I filled that call center up after that so fast and got promoted through the system. What was the difference? The resume. The information on the resume showed the hiring managers what they wanted to see. And the truth is, please listen to me, they didn't believe me. Even though I was a recruiter on the team and I had the same goal in mind as them, because I put it on a separate piece of paper professionally and it wasn't on your resume, they thought I was embellishing your qualifications. So they told me no. That's exactly what's happening to you right now. Hiring managers do not see from you what they want to see when they look at your resume, so they're telling you no. And guess what? If you don't change it, it's not going to stop happening. Yep. They will continue to reject you because they think if they call you, it's a waste of their time. And I know as a recruiter that it's not a waste of their time because I talk to you. So I protect candidates whenever I'm submitting them for jobs by making sure that I give the hiring manager what they want. So the hiring manager can say yes. Been doing that for 28 years. And so I'm going to tell you something else I do, and then I'm going to move on to the rest of this. So if you want me to review your resume, email it to me. I see a bunch of you guys have sent me your resume. So I would take the resume that you originally sent over with your application, and I would delete it from the applicant tracking system and then upload the new resume that you approved. Because I did not want a hiring manager to go over to the applicant tracking system and see your file and say, oh, Daniel cheated. I wanted them to at least be able to talk to you, which is what happened and why people got hired so fast. So this happens on my fast track program now. Everybody comes to me, they're frustrated. Oh my God, I ain't getting interviews. How can you help me? And I tell them, I can help you get a job in less than 30 days if you do everything that everything I share. The first thing though is I got to fix your resume. I mean, we got to fix that because nobody's going to call you. Okay. So how should your resume be formatted? Okay. So a lot of people think that the better it looks, the more fancy. Applicant tracking systems don't play well with fancy resumes. Simple, easy to understand formatting with bullet points is what applicant tracking systems like most. I'm going to give you a simple example. I've never said this before, but I'm going to show you a picture of what a good resume should look like. I'm going to tell you a picture. If you go to a person's LinkedIn profile, a good one, mine, anybody's, you'll see it has a headline. Now, most people don't have a good captivating headline, but it has a headline and it has an About You section. And that section we use for summary of accomplishments and areas of expertise and the I help you statement, the value statement. And then the rest of your information for your work history and education. And you don't know this, but we don't read that part of your LinkedIn profile. Nobody goes that far down on your LinkedIn profile. So it's a waste of time to spend a lot of time doing it. I'm going to do something for each one of you right now. I'm going to show you how to create a value statement that gets hiring managers to pay you more money before they interview you. They're going to want to pay you the top salary. If you're interested in that, type $3 in the chat. $3 in the chat. I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay? It's called a value statement. Most people don't have it. So now, how does this work? Nike When Nike comes out with a brand new shoe, let's say they're coming out with a shoe in May of 2026. Nike doesn't advertise a shoe like this. They don't say, hey, we're coming out with a brand new shoe. And that shoe is made of rubber, canvas, and has laces. Buy it. That's not what Nike says. If they did say that, you wouldn't buy that shoe. Right? Those are the technical aspects of the shoe, but they don't advertise that. What they say is, hey, we have a brand new shoe that we're coming out with in May of 2026. This shoe will help you run faster, jump higher, look better, and win. That's what they tell you. And so what you automatically associate that with is, if I buy this shoe, it's going to help me do this. So that's what we do for people on their resumes. Let me do it for you right now. So I want you to type in the chat what you do for work. You're an accountant, a nurse, or whatever. I want you to type it in the chat, and I'm going to show you a high impact value statement that you can put on your resume that will make a hiring manager stop and immediately call you. So type your skill in the chat. So mine will be recruiter, right? Whatever yours is. Okay, so I'm going to start with an accountant. Okay, so this is what needs to be on your resume. You have the captivating headline, what you do, how long you've done it, how good you are doing it, metrics, and then you say, I help you ensure financial reporting, maintain compliance, and improve profitability by managing accounting processes and identifying cost savings opportunities. If you want that, hire me, because that's what I'm going to help you do. Okay? Community health worker. Okay? This is a game changer. And almost every single one of you do not have this on your resume. Community health worker. I help you improve community health outcomes by connecting individuals to essential services, providing education, and supporting care coordination. I help you increase access to healthcare services by conducting outreach, reducing barriers, and guiding individuals through available resources. Community health worker. Customer service support. Type your job title in the chat. Customer service support. I help you improve customer satisfaction and retention by resolving customer issues quickly, communicating clearly, and delivering reliable customer support. Or you can say, I help you create positive customer experiences by providing friendly, solution-focused support that builds trust and loyalty with customers. Right? That's what you need to be putting on your resume. Most people don't have that. Clinical research coordinator. Okay? I'm a clinical research coordinator, and I help you to ensure accurate, reliable clinical data by managing documentation, monitoring study progress, and maintaining daily quality. Or you can say, I help you execute clinical trials efficiently and compliantly by coordinating study activities, managing data accuracy, and ensuring protocol adherence. Right? Clinical research, IT support. Okay? IT support. IT specialist. IT specialist. IT specialist. If you're an IT specialist, you say your value statement says, I help you maintain reliable, secure IT systems by resolving technical issues quickly, minimizing downtime, and supporting efficient operations. Or you can say, I help you improve user productivity by delivering fast, effective technical support and resolving issues with minimal disruption. Right? Journalist. I'm a journalist, and I help you inform and engage audiences by delivering accurate, compelling stories that capture attention and drive awareness. Or you can say, I am a journalist and I help you ensure credibility, trust by conducting thorough research, verifying sources, and delivering fact-based reporting. Associate producer. This is what you need to make sure that your resume, these are impactful parts of your resume and what make hiring managers call you. So if your resume does not have this, it's over for you. I promise you that. Associate producer. I help you deliver high quality content on time and within scope by coordinating production workflows, managing schedules, and supporting creative execution. Or you can say, I help you bring ideas to life by supporting content development, coordinating teams, and ensuring seamless production from concept to completion. If this is helpful to you, tap the screen for likes. Let's get it up to 5,000. You understand? This is the game you guys are in. And this is what makes recruiters and hiring managers like me stop and say, oh my God, let me call this person immediately. Okay, but your resume, if it's missing this, that's an issue. Occupational health and safety. I will do a few more. So occupational health and safety. I'm an occupational health and safety expert, and I help you reduce workplace injuries, ensure regulatory compliance, and create a safer work environment by implementing effective health and safety programs. Or you can say, I help maintain compliance and pass audits with confidence by ensuring adherence to OSHA and safety regulations. Okay? VP of Workforce Development at a community college. So if you're the VP of Workforce Development, you would say, I help you align education and workforce needs by building employer partnerships, developing career pathways, and increasing job placement outcomes for students. Or you can say, I help you expand workforce initiatives by developing strategic partnerships with industry, government, and community organizations. Do you get it? Do you understand it? If this makes sense to you, type in the chat, I get it. I get it now. I understand. Yes, this is making so much sense. And why nobody's calling me. Yes. This is why nobody's calling you. And watch this. The tighter the market gets, the more you have to make sure that this is tight. So whenever I interview a candidate, because I know what the hiring manager wants, I've talked to them, I'm on their team, I make sure to deliver candidates with this information. That's why 87% of the people I submit for interview get to an interview, and 76% of the people that interview get hired. Yes. So Cosmic Zoe. Yes, I do interview prep with clients. I'll tell you how to get in contact with me and all that. Just send me an email if you need interview prep. Daniel@dscds.com. Now we're going to talk about how you use this resume to find and apply to 100 jobs a day in only 30 minutes. Now, I want to ask you a question. Be honest. On average, in a week, how many jobs are you applying to? Type the number in the chat. Okay, because I'm going to tell you how many you should be applying to every single week. And then there are so many people who say, man, I don't trust these job boards. So you see an easy apply, quick apply, or one-click apply job on a job board, and you say, man, I'm going to the company's website to complete that application on their career site. If that's what you do, type yes in the chat. That's what I do, man. I go over to because I don't trust these job boards. If that's you, type yes in the chat. That's what I do. I do not stay on these job boards. I go to the company's career site, and that's where I fill out applications. Well, I'm going to tell you something, and this might be news to you. That is a complete waste of your valuable time. Okay? If you see a job posted, I'm going to tell you how to know with great certainty that the job that you're about to apply to and submit your resume to is open, so you're not being ghosted. But if you are on a job board and you see that job, you need to do the quick apply application. 10 to 21 seconds is all it takes. Why am I telling you to do that? If you go over to the company's website and you fill out that long application that we make you fill out through the website, it takes 35 minutes. And guess what? The only thing we want is your resume. That's all we want. We don't care about that application information you're putting in yet. We care about that post-offer, not pre-offer or pre-interview. So if you spend 35 minutes, like many of you do, filling out an application and you still get a rejection letter, you're doing it wrong. You should be filling out quick apply, easy apply, and one-click apply applications only. Because when you fill it out on LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, and Indeed.com, it comes back to my applicant tracking system. And when I figure out, and when I look at the source, it says LinkedIn or ZipRecruiter or Indeed or the company's website. It comes to the same place. So you should not be doing long applications on the career site. Well, why on God's green earth is it on the career site? Let me tell you why. When I manage the applicant tracking systems, and when I post a requisition inside of the applicant tracking system, it is automatically tied to our career site. Why? We're trying to keep you updated on what jobs are open, but there's a second reason why. Job boards that we have accounts with that are embedded in our applicant tracking system, they go scrape those jobs from our website 6 to 8 hours after we posted them, and they post it on their site. So you might see jobs on LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, Indeed.com that we never put there, but they're there because LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, Indeed.com saw that they were open on our website, and they scraped our website because they're embedded in the back of our applicant tracking systems, and it's there. Okay, so don't do long applications. On my fast track program, we do not do long applications. We don't. That's why they can apply so much volume and why they get 4 interviews within the second week, within 7 to 10 days. That's why. You're applying to 1 job, 2 jobs a day. They're applying to 90 jobs a day. There's no way you're going to be able to compete. You won't be able to compete. And that's why you're getting beat down now, because you're not applying to enough jobs. Now, let me tell you why volume applications is important, which is why you need to stick to easy apply. Please listen to me. This is going to change everything for you when I tell you what the process looks like on the back end. When you apply to a job in the applicant tracking system, let's say if you are the first person to apply or the fifth person to apply, right? Every person that applies to the job after you pushes your resume all the way down to the bottom of the pile. Okay, so let's say you're the first person and 200 people apply to the job after you, right? Your application is an applicant tracking system. And let's say the recruiter then decides it's time for me to start looking through candidate resumes to see who is qualified so I can submit them to the hiring manager. Please listen to me. We don't start at the bottom where the first person who applied. We start at the top where the last person applied. So if your resume is at the very bottom and we find 10 people before we get to you, you will never get seen even though you may be the most qualified person in the pile. If that's a surprise to you, type OMG, because that is happening to many of you, which is why you should not be applying to only 10, 20, 30, or 40 jobs a week. You're getting skipped over, not because you're not qualified, but because we never got to you. So when we close the job, you then get an email that says, thank you very much for applying to the job, but we decided to go with someone else. And you're like, what? Nobody even called me and interviewed me. It's because you were at the bottom of the pile and we never got to you. That ain't going to change. So let me tell you what the magic number is. This is what we tell people on our fast track. I tell people on my fast track program. And by the way, so many of you are asking, what is the fast track program? It is the program where I am each client's personal recruiting assistant. I do their resume, fix it. Their LinkedIn profile, we fix that. And I walk them through what I'm about to do with you and show you how to search for jobs the right way. So they have thousands of jobs to apply to that exactly match what they want to do and what they want to make salary-wise. And they do it fast. So in the second week, they start getting a ton of interviews. My whole day tomorrow, the entire day, is filled with fast track client calls for interview preps and offer prep. The whole day. So I walk everybody through interview prep and I walk everybody through offer prep. So I'm just telling you that. All right. So how many jobs should you be applying to on a daily basis? 90 minimum. 90. 30 on LinkedIn, 30 on ZipRecruiter, 30 on Indeed.com. If you are not applying to that many jobs, you will not get called back. It's going to take you forever to get a job. Forever. But guess what? If you knew how to apply to jobs, you can literally apply to 90 jobs in 30 minutes. Who doesn't have 30 minutes? Everybody does. Get up 30 minutes early in the morning, grab your coffee, apply to 90 jobs, and leave. Go knit stockings for your gerbil. Whatever, right? Go work out. Go to work. Do whatever you need to do. But you leave it and come back in the afternoon. And when you come back in the afternoon, you're going to see you have emails from people saying, hey, I'm interested in talking to you for a job. If your resume is right, okay? So 90 a day. 90 a day, 7 days a week is 630 applications. 630 applications a week. 2,500 a month. But it only takes you 30 minutes a day. So you're spending about 3.5 hours a week applying the job. Most of you spend 3.5 hours a day and all you put in is 5 applications. You won't be able to keep up. It's the only way it works. It's not like it used to be when I started, where you have to call the company and go in and fill out the application on paper. There were no resumes. It's not like that anymore. Hiring managers and recruiters hide behind their screen and tell you no, and without telling you why they're telling you no. I didn't come up in that age. I came up in, you sat across from my desk and I'm looking at your application and I'm telling you no right to your face, and I have to tell you why. This is what the hiring manager is looking for. You don't have that. I just ask you these questions. Sorry, we cannot move forward with you. But hiring managers and recruiters don't do that anymore. Okay? So how can you give yourself the advantage? Remember, I'm going to be doing resume reviews at the end of this. So email me a copy of your resume if you want me to review your resume for free. I can see Kevin, My Souls is Fat, Arville, Anthony, Marcus. I see you guys have sent me your resume. I can take another 75 resumes. I'm going to use my tablet and I'm going to review your resume. So check this out. Now, once you apply to these jobs, you have to apply to 90 jobs per day. This is what happens on my Fast Track program, and this is what will happen to you if you follow exactly what I just told you. Week 1, you'll apply to 630 jobs. Week 2, you'll have 4 initial interviews, but you can't stop applying. By the end of week 2, you'll know which companies you want to have a second interview with, and you'll have that in week 3, but you'll also have more initial interviews in week 3. At the end of week 3, you'll start getting job offers. Where's my tablet? Hold on, let me see. I'm going to hide this person's name. This person came to me on my Fast Track program, has a 2-year gap in employment. She might even be on this live. I got this today from her. I'm waving it around because I don't want you to see her name. She said, "Hey, Coach Daniel, I just received an offer letter. Can we meet tomorrow to go over it? I'm available anytime." So we're meeting tomorrow. She applied to this job and they said, "Dear client, congratulations and thank you very much for your interest and patience with this company. It is with great pleasure that we extend to you this offer of employment for the position of QMS coordinator at this company. We look forward to your response no later than by May 1st, 2026, which is this coming Friday. We always give you 3 days. Please take time to review our attached offer letter. It includes important details about your compensation, benefits, and terms and conditions of your anticipated employment at the company. Upon your acceptance, please sign and date at the bottom of the attached offer letter and please send it back, including CC and the HR team, Christopher, and they leave these email addresses. Congratulations on receiving this offer. We look forward to hearing from you." This person came to me 30 days ago. She said, "Daniel, I have not worked in 2 years." And I said these words to her. Listen to my lips. I said, "No one cares about the gaps in your employment. We don't care about that. You are the only one who cares about it. And people who tell you that gaps matter, they don't know what they're talking about. Okay? If you position your resume correctly, the only thing a hiring manager sees is the problem you can solve for them. Plumber, right? So that's what we did for her resume. She applied for jobs. She, in her second week, got 4 interviews. Here we are 4 or 5 weeks later, and she has an offer. A job offer. She hasn't worked in 2 years. 24 months. What is the difference? She had a resume that attracted the attention of hiring managers. I prepped her for every interview so she knew exactly the questions that were going to be asked and how to answer them. And she could pick any company she wanted. I think she had like 9 interviews in the past 30 days. What's my point? There's a process that you have to follow that nobody tells you, and that's what I'm telling you now, and that's what I tell people every day on my lives. Exactly what to do. Okay? So, the bottom line is, if you are not applying to enough jobs, you're not going to grab enough attention. So, in her case, 630 applications every single week, 30 minutes a day. You have to do the same thing. 4 interviews in week 2, 2 final interviews in week 3, 4 more interviews in week 3, 2 more offers by the end of week 3, week 4, 2 to 4 job offers. You can pick whichever one you want. Now, why do I say this? Listen to me. You've never heard me say this. Most hiring managers and recruiters have no idea about how to recruit. None. They have no idea about how to find you. That didn't used to be the case. When I came up, when we were writing ads in newspaper, and there were no social media, there was no internet, there was no volume candidates. We had to proactively find you. I had to figure out a way to go to the job boards and find you once job boards came along. I had to find you. I had to get really good at that. And the people who were recruiters who were not good at proactive searching, they fell to the side. They were not able to do it. This skill helped me to build two of the largest call centers in the country. One, a tech support call center for Southwestern Bell Internet Services, and one company that is one of the largest call center companies in the country. I used to be the national recruiting director, manager, managing all of the recruit. They used to call me and say, we got a new contract. Can we add 600 people in this market? And how fast can we stand it up? Right? Here's what's my point. If you're only applying to a few jobs per week, you're going to get lost. Nobody's going to see you. Okay? So you have to make sure you're applying in volume. Now, once you apply to enough jobs and you start getting calls for interviews, now you got to start interviewing. This is where a lot of people make mistakes. In fact, your interview and you lose the job within the first 2 questions. Most of you do. That's why I never let candidates interview without being prepped by me. You can't go in there and say something stupid. I'm sorry, I don't mean to say that, but you can't say something wrong. Okay? Now here's what I mean. So, have you ever got the first question that is every hiring manager asks you? You're going to get 3 non-behavior based questions and 3 behavior based questions. I'm going to tell you what those questions are right now. If you ever heard this question, type yes in the chat. When you walk into the interview, hiring manager sits down and says, thank you so much for coming to the interview. Tell me a little bit about yourself. If you ever gotten that question, type yes in the chat. Come on, be honest. Have you ever heard that? Type yes in the chat. Why are they asking that question? Most of you start off by saying, well, I am a career this professional. I do this. I'm a payroll person. I've managed this. I've done that. I've managed this. I worked here. I worked there. I work here and every single where. I stood on my head doing this. I stood on my head doing that. And I have this kind of job. I had this kind of job and I had this kind of job and I had this kind of job. And you talk 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 about your career. When you do that, you just lost the job. It's over. It's over. Because they're not asking you, tell me about your professional career. That's not what they're asking you. It's an icebreaker. When they say, tell me about yourself, they're saying, hey, I'm about to get the interview started. Are you ready? Tell me about yourself. This is what they're asking, the actual interpretation. They're saying, we're about to get the interview started. Tell me about the professional character traits of the person sitting in front of me so I can know you. Let me explain to you what the job interview is actually about, because you don't know. I'm going to give you an analogy in just a second to prove this, but I'm going to tell you the job interview is not about your professional expertise or your career highlights. Nobody cares about that. We've already made the determination that you can do the job. So the function of the work, we already know you can do it. So we're not interviewing you to find out if you can do the job. We're not finding that out. This is what we're actually trying to find out. We're trying to get to know you, your character. I'm not talking about those pink and blue socks you like to wear even though you haven't washed them in a year. We're not talking about that. When we say Tell me about yourself. We're not talking about you personally. No, listen to me. Nobody cares about you personally. So that's not why we're asking. They're saying, I don't know you as a professional, so I want to understand what you are about as a professional. So what are the character traits that identify you? Okay, let me give you an analogy. Imagine I come to your city and you and I are having lunch. And all of a sudden I get a phone call and I'm on the phone and it's an emergency. And I say to you, oh my goodness, I am so sorry. I have to cut this lunch short. I just got a call, an emergency I have to get to. Can I borrow your car? What would you say? Yes or no? Type it in the chat. I'm going to tell you what I would say. If you came to my city and we were having lunch and you asked me to borrow my car, I would tell you absolutely not. No, you can't borrow my car. Why won't I let you borrow my car? It's the same reason why a hiring manager is interviewing you. It's because they don't know you. Okay, so they want to get to know you first. So how do you answer? Tell me about yourself. You pick 4 character traits: hardworking, committed, loyal, team member, and that's what you tell them. This is what you need to know about me. I'm a hardworking, committed, loyal team player. I value team success far above individual success. And I'm someone you will never, ever have to worry about whether this job is going to get done. That's how I answer it 100% of the time. But you go down the rabbit hole and talk about all of your skill, experience, education, and background. You just lost the job. Okay? The second question they're going to ask you. Okay? Tell me if you've ever gotten this question. I see you're working, or maybe you're not working. I see you working. Why are you looking to leave this company? Tell me why. Have you ever gotten that question? Type yes in the chat. Why are they asking that question? And how should you answer it? They're trying to see if you are going to be a risky hire. Now, I want you to pay close attention to me. If you answer like this, it's over. If you say, well, I'm looking for a new opportunity, you're done. If you say, I'm looking to make more money, you're done. If you say, I'm looking to grow with a company, you're done. It's over, and you can't come back from it. Let me tell you why. When you tell a hiring manager that I'm looking for more opportunity, I'm looking for growth, I'm looking for more money, this is what they think to themselves. Oh, really? Okay. So if I hire you and more opportunity comes to your way through another company, you're going to leave me too, like you're about to leave this company. So they deem you as a risky hire. How do I know that? They tell me. Okay. You're risky. So you don't say, I'm looking to whatever. This is my ambition. I'm ambitious. And you think they want you to be ambitious and a go-getter. They don't want that. Okay. They don't want that. They don't want to know that about you yet. Okay. Then the next non-behavior based question they're going to ask you is, why do you want to work here? So they see where you worked before. Now they want to know, why do you want to work here? Okay. So they're trying to find out what your underlying motivation is. Okay. You tell them, I've done my research. You guys are the best and I want to work for the best. That's it. Yeah, Blackjack, that's correct. My goals and values, they don't align with this company anymore. That's why I want to leave. Okay, so then you're going to get behavior-based questions. And you must learn how to master using the STAR interview answer framework in order to do that. The way I tell people to do it on the Fast Track program is you answer STAR behavior-based questions by calling out each acronym before you give your response. The situation was this. My task was this. The action I took was this. The result I got was this. Boom. That's how you answer it. Then after all of that, the hiring manager is going to talk about the job, and then they're going to get to the very end and they're going to say, okay, well, those are all of the things that I have to say. And then out of courtesy, they're going to say, so do you have any questions for me? Now type in the chat, how many questions do you typically ask in an interview? I'm going to tell you what the right number is. How many questions do you typically ask in an interview? Everybody's typing 3. 3. Man, I asked 3 questions. 2. I'm asking 2 questions. I'm going to ask 3 questions. Guess what? You shouldn't ask any questions. Don't ask questions in an interview. When a hiring manager says to you, though, that's all I have. Do you have any questions for me? This is what they're saying. The interview is over. I have made my decision. All they're doing is telling you, I'm closing out the interview. This is not time for you to ask, what is the 30-day goal, 60-day goal, 90-day goal? They don't know, so they're not going to tell you. Why is this position vacant? What is the culture of the company like? You lose the job the moment you start asking those questions. So you don't ask questions. They don't want you. Trust me, they don't want you to ask them questions. Now, listen. I do advise you asking one question. It's very strategic, and it's the only question you should ask, and it is for you, not for them. It's not to show them anything you want to try to get a response from them. So the only question you should ask at the end of the interview, when a hiring manager says, do you have any questions for me? You simply say, yes. This is how you respond. Yes. I really learned a lot during this interview. Thank you for having me. I do have one question to ask you. When would you like for me to get started? If you're surprised that that is the question you should ask, type wow in the chat, and I'm going to tell you why. Okay? Have you ever left a job interview and thought you killed it? You flipped the whole thing upside down. Ain't no way they not going to make you an offer. And 3 days later, you get a rejection letter from somebody like me. Thank you so much for coming. We appreciate you investing your time, but we decided to go with another candidate. If that has ever happened to you, type yes in the chat. And I'm going to tell you why it happened. You should never, ever remove your rear end from the seat in an interview without knowing if they're going to make you an offer. And I'm going to tell you how you will know. If you want to know if you are going to get an offer before you leave, I'm going to tell you, type, show me the offer in the chat. I need 25 people to type, show me the offer in the chat. And I'm going to tell you exactly why you asked that question. Show me the offer. Check this out. Here's why you asked that question. I require every hiring manager to tell me either you are a yes or a no within 30 minutes following your interview. And I tell the hiring manager that this is important because if that person is a no and I don't tell them, they're going to blow up your phone and email. Do you want them to blow up your phone and email? Do you want that to happen? And they're like, oh no, Daniel, I don't want that to happen. So yes, I'll definitely tell you. And then I say, if they are a yes and you do want them, but you're not ready to bring them in just yet, I want to know that so that I can keep them warm, because I would hate for you to come back a week later and want to hire this person as your top candidate and they're off the market. So can you agree to tell me if they're a thumbs up or thumbs down within 30 minutes following the interview? Yes, I'll do that. So guess what? They know. The only person who doesn't know is you, and this question will help you find out. So when the hiring manager at the end says to you, do you have any questions for me? You say, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I learned a lot. I do have one question. When would you like for me to get started? There's 2 responses you're listening for. 2. The first one, if they respond like this, okay, well, we do have several other candidates to interview. And once we interview all of the candidates, then we will decide who we want to bring in. They just told you we don't want to make you an offer. Move on. Okay? So now you can leave and know you need to stay on your grind. Okay? Now, if at the end of the interview, they ask you, do you have any questions? And you say, yeah, I think I learned so much. Yes, I do have one question. When would you like for me to get started? If they answer like this, listen, if they answer like this, okay, yeah, well, here's what the next steps are. Someone from HR is going to call you. Someone from talent acquisition is going to call you. We're going to finish having you do the application. We have to have you go through a background check and a drug test. We have to have you complete the application. We have to have you, and we're looking to have someone start on May 5th. You are getting an offer, okay? You getting an offer. But so many of you walk out of the interview and you don't know that answer. Okay, I got one more thing I need to cover, and then I'm going to do the resume reviews like I promised. Okay, I'm pulling up my tablet right now because I'm going to tell you now how you can get $2,000 to $10,000 more from every written offer that you get, period. This is for every, if you have an offer right now, or you have an offer that you're considering to have, or whatever, I'm going to tell you exactly how to get $2,000 to $10,000, just like that. Okay? Smith said, I wasted so much time waiting on offers and they never came. Right, that's because you didn't ask this one strategic question. It's the only question on my Fast Track program that every client asks. The only one. Which is why they don't waste time. They know if they're not going to get an offer, that's cool. They know it. They already got 3 other interviews lined up. And when they get an offer, they get an email just like this client got. Hey, we want to make an offer. Please tell us by May 1st. You should be in limbo. You are in control. They're the one that needs to help. You are there to help them. Okay? Now watch this. Send me your email. I see Lene, Isaac, Stephanie, Trayshawn. I see you guys have sent me your resume. I can take another 80 people if you want to send me your resume. I'm going to do free resume reviews in just a second. All right. So, now, how do you get more money in an offer? This is a 3-sentence email that you will send back to the hiring manager the moment you get an offer. In fact, this client is going to do this tomorrow. Okay? How do I know that there's extra money in an offer? I need you to please listen to me. When we submit you to a hiring manager and we discuss pay, and let's say you make the mistake and tell us, yeah, I want, let's say the job is 90,000 to 100,000, and I get you to say 95 is good enough. I submit you at 95. Please listen to me. That 95,000 number is only the number that gets you in the door. It's not your final number, but many of you treat it like it's your final number. Oh, I said 95 in the pre-screen. That don't mean nothing. You can get more if you know how the game works, if you know how it works. So this is what you're supposed to do. Whenever I'm working with a candidate, and let's say I'm getting them submitted to the hiring manager, I'll say to you, hey, when we talked, you originally said 95 was good, right? Yes. You still good there? Yes. Okay. I know we said 95, but if I were able to get you 98,000, would you be okay with that? And obviously you're going to say yes because it's more money. And I say, okay, great. I'm going to ask the hiring manager. Now, you know you're not going to lose the offer because I'm asking for you, right? So I go to the hiring manager and I say, hey, talk to Bob. Bob is excited about accepting the offer. He did ask me one question. I want to see if we can go to 98. Is that possible? Right? So the hiring manager will then say, yeah, we could do 98 if they can make that decision. Or they will have to go to the director, and the director is going to ask them this question. Do you think they're worth it? Right? And so the hiring manager is going to say yes. Now, why do they say yes? Here's why. See, prior to you interviewing with them, they had no emotional or mental connection to you. They didn't know you from a pebble stuck in their right rear tire in their truck. They didn't know you. But once they interview you and they learn, okay, I can trust this person, I can rely on this person, I can depend on this person will treat this job the way I want to be treated. Yes, I want to they're emotionally and mentally invested in you. So when I bring to them the additional $3,000 or $2,000 or $5,000, they easily say yes, because an additional $2,100 per year is nothing but a $1 increase over the hourly rate that you would typically get, even if it's salary. $2 an hour is $4,200. $3 an hour is $6,300. It's nothing. $3 an hour extra is $120 a week. The money's there, and you're leaving it on the table. You should do this every single time. How you do it without me. You're just going to send an email that says this, and this is what this client is going to do tomorrow. She's going to say, thank you very much for this offer. I am so excited to get started with the team. I was wondering if the company could go to new number. Thanks again. Can't wait to get started. You're not trying to justify. You're just asking a question. And because they are already emotionally invested in you and they have made their final decision, they're going to tell her yes. She's going to get $2,000 to $5,000 more. Get it? It's available to you. So tonight, what did we discuss? I'm about to do resume reviews right now. I see you guys are sending your resumes. What did we discuss? We talked about resumes. What resumes are not. What resumes are. Your resume is a marketing document. It's not a biography. You're not supposed to be sharing your work history like it's the only thing, the be all, the end all, the be all. No, we don't care about your work history. We want to see if you're the solution to our problem, and I told you what to put right up top. Then we talked about finding jobs. Most of you don't know how to find jobs. You have no idea. So guess what? I just showed you how to find thousands of jobs and apply to 90 per day. 30 on ZipRecruiter, 30 on Indeed.com, 30 on ZipRecruiter. So you can get more eyes on your qualifications. Then we talked about interviewing. Don't blow it in the first two questions. When they ask me, tell me about yourself, you go down this rabbit hole and talk about your 59-year career. Nobody cares about that. It's not what we're asking. Okay? And then I just show you how to get $2,000 to $10,000 more from every offer. Now I'm going to look at a couple resumes real quick. Trayshawn H. I'm going to look at your resume, and I'm going to tell you exactly what hiring managers see when they look at it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove your contact information, and I'm going to show everybody the resume. Take a look at this. Now, Trayshawn, I think you do have a pretty good resume. It's formatted well, but all of those bullets is a waste of your time. In some of these bullets, you got so much stuff: analyze payment discrepancies, develop policies, annuals. That's too much. When I look at your resume at the very top, there's something good. You say, I'm a revenue cycle manager, but that's all I know about you. Then I got to go and read this professional summary paragraph. Nobody's going to read this professional summary. This should be bullet format. Stop doing this. You're forcing a hiring manager to read a book. Nobody's going to read that. And yours says revenue cycle manager with 20 years experience overseeing denials, managements, appeals, recoveries, billing operations, and staff and development across hospitals, clinical research, drive revenue optimization, develop trains, blah, blah. You got so much stuff written here. Put that in bullet form. No one's going to read that. No hiring manager is going to read it. So while you might get past the initial, I want to puke because I see the resume has too much information. You know what I mean? Don't do that. Your professional summary doesn't tell a hiring manager how, as a revenue cycle manager, you're going to help them. There's no indication on your resume that tells a hiring manager how you're going to help them. None. It just says you're a revenue cycle manager and you tell them I got 20 years experience. 20 years experience doing what? Managing how much in revenue? Billing. How much? It's not here. Can't see it. Right? So I would advise you not applying to jobs with this resume, or it's going to keep getting rejected. Okay? All right, let's look at Kevin T. Kevin T. Nope, not Kevin T. Who is this? Dina B. Dina B. Dina B. I think I've seen yours before, possibly. Dina B. Okay, check this out. Okay, so Dina, I'm going to tell you guys a big problem that people have. You see how this resume is formatted? Where you have these bullets out to one side or these things out. This won't go into an applicant tracking system properly. So if you go to the company's website and you're trying to fill out that long application, you're going to have problems. Okay, so you don't want to do it like that. Now, when I look at your resume, Dina, I don't have an idea about what you do. Like, what do you do? Right? Now, if I read it, this summary, get rid of your summaries. Put it in a professional. You can have a professional summary. We call it a summary of accomplishments. but you need to put it in bullet form. A detail-oriented healthcare professional. Doing what? Like are you a doctor? Are you a nurse? Are you a nurse's assistant? Like what are you? What does healthcare professional mean? What are you? Like what do you do? No, nobody knows. This is too vague. Don't apply the job saying that. I'm a detail-oriented healthcare professional. I'm a detail-oriented IT professional. What do you do in IT? Right? I could not type in, I'm a detail-oriented recruiting specialist. What kind of people do you recruit? How many do you recruit? How long you been recruiting? It's missing from your resume, so nobody's going to want to talk to you. All right. Isaac R. Let me see. Isaac R. Let's see. No, I kind of liked it. Okay, so check it out. Isaac. So, formatting is okay. Too many paragraphs at the top. Not eye-catching. No one's going to read all of this beautiful stuff that you've written, this book you've written, right? Marine Corps veteran and data systems analyst with a background in software development, GIS, and healthcare data integration. Currently a TAP and student intern with the county of Riverside. Like, so you think a hiring manager cares about that? They don't. The hiring manager is looking at your resume and saying, what does this guy do? It says you're a business process analyst to ELMR. So it needs to be very clear about the problem you solve as a business process analyst, because this is not clear at all. And you're forcing me and a hiring manager to look through this information and try to figure it out. Nobody's going to figure it out. I can promise you that. You're going to be frustrated because nobody's going to figure it out. If you want me to review your resume, email it to me. All right. Stephanie H. Oh, Stephanie, I thought you were there, but you were almost there. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of your information. Good formatting, Stephanie. Can you guys see all of this writing? Hiring managers don't like that. Recruiters don't like that. We want you to get right to the point. What do you do? Tell us. Get to the point. Stop making us read a novel. Nobody wants to read that. We're trying to skim and scan resumes and we're looking for numbers. I don't see any numbers, percentages, barely see. I have to go all the way down to your job at May of 2021 to see any percentages or anything. Nobody's going to read this stuff, guys. Professional summary. Clinical, listen to this. You are a client-focused banking professional with strong experience in needs assessment. What do you do in a bank? Are you the bank manager? Are you a teller? Are you a teller? Like, what do you do? Are you a client representative? Like, what do you do? Nobody knows what you do. This is frustrating for recruiters and hiring managers. So they end up getting frustrated and throw your resume away. Hiring managers will say, close that post down. Let's repost it and see if we can get some fresh candidates. So when I was submitting resumes like this to hiring managers, they were rejecting them because it didn't tell the hiring manager what they wanted. You understand? I don't know what you do, Stephanie. It's hard for me to tell. Okay? I'm just being honest and straightforward with you guys. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. David O. Let me see. Same thing, David. I like the formatting. Simple, but you got a professional summary up here that should be in bullet form. Dedicated and adaptable professional with a background in customer service, quality, tech support, and document management. Now, you just said that you do customer service, quality control, and tech support, and document management. And the hiring manager is thinking, like, okay, if I hire him for tech support, is he going to want to go do document management somewhere else, or customer service somewhere else, or right? You got to pick one and stick with the one. That's it. So you can be an IT support specialist with customer service, document management, quality control expertise. But you can't be all of these things. Right? And then you put, I'm known for reliability, strong communication skills, and the ability to learn quickly. No, don't put that on your resume. Because when you tell a person, I have the ability to learn quickly You're telling the hiring manager, I want to use you and this job to practice. No one's going to hire you. If you want me to review your resume, I'll do your resume review. Email it to me. If you are interested in knowing more about the Fast Track program, just email me. Listen to me, please, everybody. Just stop for a second. I've given you a ton of information. Many of you have responded and you said it was helpful. Information without corresponding action does nothing for you. The Bible says it like this: faith without works is dead. It's not alive. Faith without works, nothing happens with that. So you can have faith, but you don't use the faith and your life will not improve. Do you understand me? You can have the information, but if you decide not to take action on the information that has been freely given to you, nothing's going to change in your life. You're going to be a frustrated old head person for the rest of your life. Faith without works is dead. Information without taking action is meaningless. You say you want to lose weight, but you won't stop eating junk food. You say you want a better career, but you won't take action and do the things that are necessary to get you interviews. You say you're this, but you won't do that. You say you are stressed out, but you stay in that stinky situation at work. Faith without action, without works, is dead. You're consuming the content. You're getting the information. And you're still sitting on your bottom doing nothing. I just told you, I will give you a resume review for free. Or you can keep using the same broke down resume you have. I'm just telling you. You say, I need to get out of this job. I want to have a job in the next 30 days. And I just told you I have a fast track program that you can get information. You ain't got to do nothing with it. You can get information on it and make a decision about whether this is your God time. Okay? I don't expect anybody to work with me. Believe me, I got plenty of clients. Plenty. If I review your resume, I'll review it for free and give you my honest feedback and tell you change this. But if you look at that information and say, man, that's too much, I don't want to do it. Can you do it for me? The answer is yes. There are options in there for me to do it for you. Okay? The goal of every resume is to get you $2,000 to $10,000 more from every written offer. The goal of the resume is to get you an interview with the hiring manager. Make them stop and say, call this person right now. Happens every day in my world. Every single day. If it's not happening in yours, then you need to take action. If you don't take action, sorry, nothing, and I mean nothing, is going to happen for you. I'll see you guys on the next live. God bless you. Thank you guys so much for your attention.